All right, this video shows how to solve equations using the official process. This is showing all the inverse operations and all the properties that are applied. This is above and beyond what you'll need to show, but sometimes it's good to know the process behind what you're doing. So we have this 4n minus 7 equals 13. Now we've been talking in class how you get rid of the constant first, then divide out the coefficient. You're going to add 7 and divide by 4 to both sides of the equation. So I'm going to show that. First we're going to show adding 7 to both sides. So I've got the plus 7 here, I've got the plus 7 here. You'd never do plus 7 twice on the same side of the equation. So now this negative 7 and positive 7 cancel each other out. That's known as the additive inverse property. We're going to end up with 4n plus 0. That negative 7 and 7 make 0. Over here I just put together the 13 and 7. They're like terms. So now we don't really need this 0 anymore. Anything plus 0 is just itself. That's the additive identity property going on. So now we're going to divide out the 4 into both sides. So I'm going to rewrite it and divide by 4. And when you do that, this 4 over 4 actually turns into a 1. That is the multiplicative inverse property going on. And then the fact that 1n equals 5, 20 divided by 4 gave you the 5. Then 1 times n gives you n. That's the multiplicative identity going on. And you worked it out to n equals 5. Now, a lot of you are probably going, oh man, that's a lot of steps. Most teachers are just going to allow these steps to be shown, the adding 7 and the dividing by 4 and then the final answer. But once again, I'm trying to show you why all this happens. Okay, so we're going to do a few more of these. 8 equals negative 4 plus 6n. So now we have the variable on the right side. It's not a big deal. You still get rid of the constant first that's next to it. So that's a negative 4. To get rid of a negative 4, you're going to add 4. To get rid of this positive 6, you're going to divide by 6. So we're going to add 4 to both sides. I'm adding 4 on the left side of the equation. I'm adding 4, and I'm going to go ahead and write it in next to this negative 4 because those are the two that are going to cancel out. So that gives you 0. So you have 0 plus 6n over here. The 8 and 4 put together make 12. I don't really need that 0 anymore. It's additive identity. 6n plus 0 is the same thing as 6n. So now I'm going to divide out my 6. The 6 over 6 really turns into 1n. And 1n is equal to 2 because 12 divided by 6. And then we get n equals 2 or 2 equals n. Some kids want to rewrite the whole problem and put the variable on the left side, and you can do that, but this presentation is showing you how you can deal with it with everything still on the right side. Once again, these are the steps you'd really need to show officially. You're going to add the 4, divide by the 6, and you get your answer. Okay, on this one, negative 3n minus 8 equals negative 2. We're going to cancel out the negative 8 by adding 8 to both sides, and then we're going to divide by negative 3. A lot of kids will forget about the negative sign, or they'll think they need to deal with an opposite. But with a coefficient, you divide out the whole thing. So we're going to add 8, divide by negative 3. I'm going to show the adding 8 to both sides. That's where they cancel out here. Negative 2 plus 8 is going to give you 6. So you have the negative 3n dropping down. Now we don't need the 0 anymore, so I'm just going to have negative 3n equals 6. Now I'm going to divide out the negative 3, and then we're going to divide these two out, and that gives you negative 3 divided by 3 gives you a 1n equaling negative 2, and then that gives you n equals negative 2. We've got one more example. Once again, these are the main steps, showing the add 8, divide by 3, and then your answer. I have some other presentations that show the shorter amount of steps. This one, negative 8 equals 7 minus 5n. We've got the variable on the right side. The constant that we want to get rid of is 7. The coefficient we want to get rid of is negative 5. So we're going to subtract 7 and divide by negative 5. I'm showing the subtracting 7 on both sides. Over here, that's going to cancel out. Over here, we'd get negative 15. And then I don't really need the 0 anymore. So now I'm dividing by negative 5n. That gives you the 1n over here. Negative 15 divided by negative 5 gives you a 3. So then I don't really need the 1n anymore. It's just going to be n. These are the 3 steps you'd need to show for most teachers. The subtracting 7, dividing by negative 5, and then your final answer. I hope that helps. Best of luck to you.